Shalom, shalom. Welcome to Hebrew Shalom Ministries. Going to do a teaching on Genesis 1:1, Bereshit 1:1. Here's some wall art I made, reading from right to left. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning created Elohim the heavens and the earth. Here in this picture I've highlighted in the red the prefixes, the letters that are added to the front of a root word. Be means in, ha means the letter hey. So Shemayim and Haaretz both have a the in front of them. So I've added those. You'll also notice in the picture one of the mysteries in the Hebrew, you'll see the first letter is double-sized, the letter bet that begins the word Bereshit, reading from right to left, remember? And that is double-sized. This mystery of double-sized and half-sized letters occurs all through the Tanakh, and that's a subject worthy of study. Just giving you a taste there, I suppose that's the first mystery that we find in Genesis 1:1 in the Bible is the double-sized bet. So looking a little bit more closely at the first word, now in here I didn't enlarge the first letter bet, but just remember that it actually is enlarged in the Tanakh. I was just writing this out for illustration purposes to show the prefix, the root, and then the ending, the suffix, is the conjugation. So the root is the resh, aleph, shin in the middle, rosh, or resh in this case is how it's pronounced. That would be the root of the word. This is a pattern in the Hebrew language. You'll find there'll be prefixes and suffixes when you conjugate words, which is a concept should be familiar to you in the English as well. We do the same thing. For example, the word song, we'll add an S on the end to make it plural. So we add a suffix. It's more pronounced in the Hebrew, and something you should learn if you're learning Hebrew is that we have prefixes and suffixes are added to the words.
The word rosh is a part of the body, part of the anatomy that you would learn as a child. The head. Your head is a rosh, and it can be used just as it is in English, either literally as a body part, or it can be used figuratively as the head of something. You've heard of the holiday Rosh Hashanah? Rosh, the head, the Shana, head of the year. That's what Rosh Hashanah means. So there you have the word Rosh again. In our verse in Genesis 1:1, Bereshit 1:1, we have a resh. So it's this word rosh, the root word, but it's conjugated. And there you have the zeri vowel under the resh. So the resh is an R sound. And then you have A is in the month of May. That sound. So resh. See the shin on the end, the sh. So resh is what you're saying for that. That's what occurs in Genesis 1:1, resh. So back to our first word of the Bible, Bereshit. Be is the prefix, which is in. Resh is the root, which is at the head of or the beginning of. And the eat on the end is the conjugation. Now that's a construct form, which I'm going to explain something about that to you here. The Hebrew construct is when you have two Hebrew nouns occurring together in the text, and the word of is inserted between the two. So an example of that is Song of Songs, the book of the Bible, Shir HaShirim. By now you're familiar with the ha prefix. So there you have shir is song, shirim is plural for song, songs. So you have Shir HaShirim. The word of does not appear in the Hebrew, but it's in the Hebrew construct form of two nouns together. So we insert the word of in between. These Hebrew constructs happen all over the Bible, all over the Tanakh and the Hebrew. In the case of our verse, you have a missing word. It's a second mystery of Genesis 1:1. At the head of. There's no second noun to go with the Hebrew construct form of Bereshit. So in the beginning of, or at the head of blank. Sometimes God doesn't use perfect grammar as far as we see perfect grammar. One thing I teach and believe that the rabbis teach is that when God has an anomaly, and contradiction, it seems, in the grammar, he's trying to make a point. He's trying to give us a hint at something. It's not that he doesn't know how to do grammar that he created. So we want to look a little deeper and say, well, there's a mystery there. And you don't see that in the English. You see that hidden in the Hebrew. One of the good reasons why to learn and study the Bible in Hebrew. Moving on to the next two words of the verse, bara Elohim. And there you can see the vowels, the bet, letter bet with the B sound with a kamatz vowel. So ra, the aleph is silent. Elohim. Now that vowel you see under the aleph and Elohim is a half of a segol. The segol vowel is the three dots there. That's the eh sound. So it's a very short eh. Lo, you see the little floating holam vowel between the lamed and the hay. And then you have the hirik vowel under the hay, which is im. So the yod there is working as a vowel carrier and is silent. And here we have our third mystery. The word choice in Hebrew can be reversed. It can in English, but it sounds funny to us. So if I say, I am grateful, or I say, grateful am I, you see how I can put the verb first or after. And in Hebrew, it's acceptable to put bara Elohim or Elohim bara. It's done in other cases, but it's a little bit of a mystery as to why it's not the usual. The usual would be Elohim bara. But what we see in the scripture is bara Elohim. So we see the unusual, rare form of the verb coming first and then the noun. So that's a little bit of a mystery, or third mystery of the verse. There's a fourth mystery that's a larger one, which is the plural and the singular. Now, El is singular for God and Elohim is plural. And if you're going to have agreement of the plural and the singular in the Hebrew, it would be El bara and Elohim baru. So what we have is we have Elohim bara. So we have a mixing of the plural and the singular. Now, as I said before, these quote unquote mistakes in the grammar are there intentionally to give us a hint to something. Now, many would say this is a hint at the Trinity. Some would say it's the Godhead, the angels, and whoever else is there helping God, um, in that sense, in heaven. And others would say that it's a majestic plural. There's different theories out there, but it's something discussed. It's one of those mysteries you don't see in the English translation, but you see hidden in the Hebrew when you study the Hebrew.